Hi guys, welcome back to another video. Today I want to talk about a few things. Okay, so I don't even know where to start. I guess I'll start with the story of why I even thought of this idea of this video. So I was cleaning out my room and I found an old folder of a lot of essays that I had written in high school, and I came across my final essay that I had to read in front of my class of English 3 honors with the fine shit that was in that class. And yeah, so I found it and I was skimming through it and I was like, oh my god, this is that essay. And the second I even read the title of the prompt, I was rushed with emotions of embarrassment. I can verbatim remember the exact embarrassing moments the feelings that I felt when I read that out loud in front of that class. It was insane. I was red, talking really fast, and stumbling over my words. And overall, just very, very embarrassed, right? Because, again, probably the fine shit, but also just being perceived in a group of who I considered very intelligent kids made me really, really anxious. And the fact that yesterday when I saw this and I felt those emotions again, I was like, wow, that is freaking crazy. This happened 2 years ago and it still has a lingering effect on me. That is incredibly beautifully crazy. I don't know. It made me think how psychologically, it made me think about humans and minds and psychology, basically. Psychology. It made me think of psychology. And so I looked up why does someone still feel embarrassed about something that happened years ago? And actually, it's a concept in psychology called cognitive psychology. And it is the spotlight effect, which means the tendency to believe people are noticing and judging us way more than they actually are. And that just, then I started going down a rabbit hole of okay, I felt so flustered and embarrassed because of all my peers, who I considered intelligent. They were all acknowledging my words and my thoughts and just myself, even if they weren't even thinking about it at that level. They were probably just oh, my classmate's reading her final essay prompt, But me, I attached meaning to it, and I was they're judging me, this is horrible, I can't believe I'm doing this, I'm so embarrassed. And a lot of thoughts of perception and okay, I'm gonna get on this perception thing later because I can dive deeper into that. But first, let's say I'm gonna talk about how life is such a mental thing. It's so crazy because reading it now, yesterday, no one was around me, no one was watching me, no one was judging me, no one was noticing anything, but I still remember those exact verbatim feelings that I felt when I read that for the first time in front of the class. And it's just crazy how we often create extra suffering by the way we interpret things, which makes me think oh my god, life is such a mental thing. Really, guys, please sit and think about it, how life is such a mental thing. Everything we're experiencing, everything we go through every day, all the thoughts we have, all the actions we do, everything, life is just mental. It's all here. It's all here. Not all. Yeah, I feel a lot, right, okay. A lot of it is mental. I know there's actions that we take and things we do to make it seem like it's not mental, but for the most part, we create our own meaning to everything, to what we're doing, to work, to our thoughts to what we wear to so many things. Like, I could go deeper, but it's really just about how, like, we interpret things, how we experience things, what we feel, the thoughts we have, the feelings we have. It's all in here. Like, of course, your dog can die, and that's fucking sad. Like, your dog dying is sad. And you're gonna feel all those things, but it's gonna go on here because someone else can see. I know it's different because it's not gonna be their dog, but like someone else can see that happen and be like, oh, that's really sad, and move on about their day. But because that's your dog who you loved with your heart and your soul and all of yourself, it's different. And that's just crazy. It's just crazy. What's like, okay, I'm gonna use a different example of like not a personal, like someone's personal dog, but like, what's something else I could say that's like mind opening? I'm trying to think of one to also capture around in my head, but okay, an animal. Let's just like me with these animals. An animal that's like, let's say a squirrel. Oh my god, this is gonna be the perspective of me because there's a lot of squirrels in my neighborhood, so I have like an attachment to these squirrels. My mom feeds them, so these squirrels like are like they're squirrels, they're just squirrels. And okay, so I saw a squirrel. Someone killed a squirrel in my neighborhood, and I freaking cried. I was like, my heart was like pounding. I was like, what the hell? Like, what just like, why? Like, were people not watching the road? Like, this is so freaking devastating. But then, like, as I'm trying to move it, because it's in the middle of the road, and I try to move it, someone else just saw me and was like going on about their day. Like, I don't know if it affected them mentally, but it affected me mentally and physically to where like I had to physically move this little squirrel out of the road because I didn't want it to continuously get, I mean, it was already dead, but what, like tortured? I don't know, their body, that's still their little squirrel's body. And it's just, I don't know, did that make sense? I don't know, I think it kind of made sense. But yeah, like that was the sum of my essay story, and how much how much life is a mental thing. Another thing another thing I wanted to say was how I haven't really felt feelings of embarrassment as of lately because TikTok has kind of helped me with that. I see YouTube video or TikTok videos that say like embarrassment doesn't exist, like it's all in your head, and like no one has the ability to embarrass you unless you give them that power or you give into embarrassing. Even if like no, because no one else, like everyone sees embarrassment as a different thing. Like me falling in front of everyone in the hallway could not be embarrassing to me. Like I'm not gonna feel embarrassed, but someone that watched it be like, ooh, that's embarrassing, because then we put ourselves in their perspective, and like if that were me, like I would be humiliated. But if the person falling doesn't feel humiliated, then like, and it doesn't exist, embarrassment doesn't exist. And like that was a way I was able to go like find a different mindset when it came to embarrassment. I feel like there was something else that people say, embarrassment only exists in your own mind. And yeah, you have the power to create, or I guess you can create to not feel embarrassed. I hope that wasn't the same thing. And that actually helped me a lot. And I feel like now, like, I really don't find things embarrassing. Like, there are many times where I'll do something, like, normal, like something by accident, like, drop plates at my store and make loud noises. And everyone's just, like, turning around and looking at me. But, like, that's not embarrassing. Like, I just dropped plates, you know? But, like, before, like, when I was in middle school or high school, I'd be so flustered and embarrassed and like, oh my god, like I'm being seen right now. That's my next topic, perception, being perceived. Oh my god, let's talk about it. I don't know how I feel about it now. I haven't really thought about it, but I guess it triggers me to be perceived IRL for some reason. I feel like when it comes to YouTube, you know, where this is literally what I'm being perceived, it's very different because I control what I'm putting out there. And if this is what I want people to perceive, I don't care. I don't mind. I'm okay with it. But if it's like I'm at the store and I'm just not giving what I want to give, I fear being perceived. And yeah, so I've always had just like a bad relationship with perception. I guess it all really just comes down to like, I can go back and like trauma dump, but really it was like how every time I was perceived, for me it was by humiliation, embarrassment, awkwardness, or just something I was doing that was seen as bad. And I think that's where like my personal negative mindset of being perceived came into play. And I've kind of let it loose a little bit because of the work I've done with myself. Like I really do things and I am who I am because I want to, because I like, for example, like my sunglasses I have on, I think they're cunt and I think they're chic and I love the look of them, so I'm gonna wear them right now for this video. But I feel like before I would have been like, oh, like who's wearing sunglasses in their home? Like that's not something people do unless they do. Not judging, but that's how like my mind used to work. And now I just do things because I like to do them, you know. It doesn't have I don't have to have like a meaning to it. And so I'm learning to see perception as a good thing. I know a lot of the time people try to like solve the discomfort way too fast. Like I used to do this. I used to think that like I shouldn't care what people think and no one is really judging me, like I'm just creating all these fake scenarios in my head. And that helped in a way, but then like when there was things like an outfit that I was wearing that I just didn't like, I really liked, but for some reason didn't feel as comfortable wearing it in public as I did privately in my own space. And so I would just constantly think, no one's judging me, no one's judging me, no one's thinking about me, like I shouldn't care what they think, I shouldn't care. But I would notice that sometimes when it was like an outfit that I didn't feel as comfortable wearing out in public than I did in my home, I would hear the thoughts of me like saying I shouldn't care, I shouldn't care, I shouldn't care for like the whole time I was out. And I was like, if I had to keep telling myself repeatedly throughout my whole outing that I shouldn't care, then maybe I need to like ease into the discomfort and not be too quick to let it disappear. I think experience shows that it's not as simple. For example, for me, like it wasn't simply telling myself no one's judging me, I shouldn't care what people think. I had to become more rooted in myself and be like, okay, this is something I like to wear, like I shouldn't feel embarrassed, and accepting my likes and being comfortable with myself and genuine and authentic. Because like another life lesson, but like this is my life and I shouldn't care what other people think. And yeah, I feel like, okay, another thing something I wanted to briefly add is like I feel like I'm just like adding human soul on part. Okay, I also used to think like I was so contradicting. Like I used to hold so many beliefs. I used to feel everything all at once. Like for example, I like expressing myself. I like being expressive and articulate so that people can understand me. But at the same time, like I don't, well, it's not that I hate, I'm not comfortable being seen depending on who the people are. And I used to think like, wow, like I'm really contradicting. Like, how can I say I love being expressive and literally do YouTube videos and being perceived as all like this is what it's for, but then like feel so uncomfortable when it came to like actual interactions with people. And it's okay to, I'm learning that it's okay to hold many beliefs as long as they feel genuine to you and you know your intentions. There are times where I'm like, ooh, I want to say this, but I also believe this, so I don't want them to think that I'm like, I don't want people to think I'm not consistent or I'm inconsistent because I hold two truths. But if you know your intentions and the people around you know the kind of person you are, I feel like you shouldn't. What I'm trying to learn and tell myself is like I shouldn't worry too much of being. I always say human, but really, this is like a lot of people probably feel this way, even if they don't say it. Is the fact that like you can feel a certain type of way, but also feel a different way about that same thing, and hold different perspectives on it. And I don't think that's like being inconsistent. I think that's just being human and finding, what is it, like, and holding just many beliefs. And just holding many beliefs about yourself and things. Yeah. That's really like everything I wanted to let out today. I don't know. I think I hope I got I think I said everything I wanted to say. I think I'm just gonna edit this now. But I am like really really grateful for myself, and I think that that's like the number one lesson that I try to like convey when it comes to me posting is just how important self-care and self-love, like love for yourself and wanting peace for yourself is important, because my videos are for so many people. It's for people that may feel what I feel or don't know how to express themselves or think that they're alone in this world. And also for myself, like I want to look back at this tomorrow or in 2 weeks or in a year from now or 5 years from now and like hear my own advice and be like, wow, how I knew ball, like you know ball. And it makes me so proud of myself, and I can't like express how grateful I am for myself, for my bravery and my consistency and the love that I'm constantly showing and growing from this. So like aura of love at everyone and everything. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.